Hotep brothers and sisters, Black Powers, always giving honor to the Creator, the ancestors, my sisters, Chief of Staff Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in-laws, my supporters, my subscribers, my viewers, my listeners, and all the brothers and sisters, young and old, that are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our Black nation. And also, good evening, brothers. Yeah, brothers and sisters. What I want to do right quick is give you all your props for your contributions and your donations and your support. Gladys Holcutt, Diane Nelson, William Ivory, Brian Simpson, Mark Gipp, You Are Wanted, Denise Duke, Kenneth Whitfield, Bernice B., Brother Dwayne, Michael Belmont, A Chosen Vessel, Trust Dog, Zulu Boy 78, Sergio Labath, and many others, Terry and Lakeisha, many others who support Shaka Sankofa and the Street Law Soldiers. And I wanted you to see your dollars and your donations at work, from your hand to my hand to the people's hand, because that's how I am. I let you see everything that we do. I'm not into any shiesty type shit or none of that. There's no need for me to do that. I've been blessed by the ancestors and the Creator to be a conveyor of information to you all. However, after nearly 500 videos and nearly 100 times or better feeding up our people within the last 2 years, we do need support. So, just like any other organization or movement, and I'm not gonna go into all of that. Let's deal with the subject matter at hand. You remember when I told you, I talked to you about the sexual perversion that is taking place in the Black community as a result of these ice apes and the invasion of the Roman Empire, and how these fucking savages, with their sexual perversion and their nasty savage behavior, that the Black community has incorporated now, that is destroying the moral fiber of our community, that has become sickening, to give more respect to a homosexual than a heterosexual. This is how fucked up the system is. Barack Obama, who made a major contribution and made it mandatory that all gays get respect. Because he's a bisexual. And for those who have been following me, you saw the video and proof that I showed you about Obama's relationship with several men. But nevertheless, talk about this demon, this goddamn demon, as you can see him holding the infant with his hand near the thigh and near the baby's buttocks and penis. And he's quote unquote giving this infant boy a hickey. He's starch fucking naked. Nasty motherfucking devils. Here's an ice ape fucking a goat. Now let me ask you this. How can you get an erection? How can you build up a sexual desire and an erection to have sex with a motherfucking goat? A hairy, diseasy animal with a tail. How can you, what How did you get aroused? What part of that animal aroused you? You goddamn savage. You know, this motherfucker's on a dog. Disturbing shit, man. Now, I'm going to show you some recent shit that I was telling you about these so-called white fucking Jews, what they do to these infant boys. You see this baby, this male baby that's in excruciating motherfucking pain. No anesthesia whatsoever because they have taken a razor and made a long incision on this boy's penis, on the skin of his penis. On the foreskin, they have slit it open. And this baby with no anesthesia or no numbing medicine whatsoever. And this baby is crying to his heart. The baby's heart is beginning to hurt from pain. And then on top of that, look at this motherfucking ice ape. Look at the baby who's still in more excruciating pain, about to pass out. Because this dirty motherfucking so-called white, stinking, dirty motherfucking Jew is sucking the blood, pus, and discharge from this baby's penis, sucking it and swallowing it. This nasty motherfucking piece of shit. And then you niggas got a nerve, you house niggas got a nerve to want to be like these motherfuckers and you know, and these babies, these boys grow up with herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and all this bullshit. And what they do, they go in the hood and get a black prostitute and infect her, and she comes back home and infects her people, and it goes on and on and on. Because you see, when these boys, when they grow up and they find out that they are carriers of these STDs, they're not going to infect their people. They go into the black community and do this shit. And our people will do anything for some motherfucking money. And this is recent. This is like maybe no later than a year. And they do this shit every single day. What gets me is that baby screaming like that, hollering, while this motherfucker is swallowing discharge, pus, blood, afterbirth, and some more shit from this baby. Sucking it out, swallowing this shit. You know, Victoria's Secret, which was named after Queen Victoria. That's Queen Victoria right there. You know, but the reason why it's called Victoria's Secret, the secret is Queen Victoria is Lord Buckingham, a man. If you look at that picture, you can see that's a hard-ass man. That is a man. Lord Buckingham. That's the secret of Victoria's Secret. You know, and at the beginning of the opening of the stores, you know, they were selling all types of the original lingerie of the Queen, which was Lord Buckingham, wearing panties and girdles and all this type of shit, nightgowns. And you can see clearly that this is a fucking man. It's a goddamn ice ape. Now, Bruce Jenner, who was the decathlon man, the all-around motherfucking athlete of the 70s. You know, married the queen bitch, the Queen Kardashian bitch, the mother. You know, and these Kardashians are wicked and nasty and foul. She teaches her daughters how to be sluts and whores. That's what she do. She trains them. And then when they get ready, she send them out on the motherfucking track. And everyone that has went out has grabbed a motherfucking celebrity. Even the mother. You know, fucking Kanye's fucked all up. Lamar Odom's fucked all up. I think Romeo or somebody else was fucking the little girl. You know, they all fucked up. They corrupt niggas. They corrupt niggas. And their mother right now is fucking Steve Harvey's buck dancing motherfucking jigaboo, you know, Clydesdale mouth ass. You know, this motherfucking racehorse looking motherfucker is fucking with the Kardashian mother, the mother, that bitch. You know, this is how fucked up it is. You know, and it was so distorted. You know, Bruce Jenner, this motherfucker, you know, turned into a goddamn woman. And they called this motherfucker, they named this motherfucker, ESPN named this motherfucking bitch nigga, bitch ass cracker motherfucker, woman of the goddamn year. Woman of the fucking year. Over all the women, they named a motherfucking man to be woman of the year. At the fucking ESPY Awards. Now look at this motherfucker. This is the nature and the perversion of this goddamn cracker. This is the perversion of this cracker. Where the perversion is of normality. In other words, this is common practice. This was common practice in during the Roman invasion in the Roman Empire. They wore leather skirts and sandals. They watched each other wrestle in the stadiums. And whoever was taken down to the floor to appear like they were being taken advantage of or sexually violated. The white crackers, Romans, the Roman fags with their leather skirts and fucking sandals on would get erections when one guy's on top of the other. Then when he breaks loose from that and comes out in the circle, he is penalized for that. But this motherfucker was named Woman of the Year. Let's talk about Kim Porter. My deepest condolences go out to the family, the Porter family, P. Diddy and their children. However, you know, before I can conclude that this was a sacrifice, so far I haven't saw any major proof that it may have been a sacrificial ritual involving this sister. But one thing I can say is that, you know, she was dealing with a lot of drugs. She was taking in a lot of painkillers. I mean, not painkillers, weight loss tablets, which was speed, you know, and really they are illegal drugs, you know, coming in the form of a weight loss pill, of a food supplement. And by her being a model, she had to maintain her 100-pound figure. 108, 110, with popsicle stick arms and all that shit, because these models are so anorexic. They literally are dying left and right, trying to maintain a certain weight, vomiting all day long, what they call binging and purging. They'll eat a full course meal and then 3 minutes later they'll go to the bathroom and throw it up, stick their finger down their throat, throw it up. But I truly see that there are indications that these illegal pills that she was taking, induced those heart attacks. That speed induced those heart attacks, which led to her ascension, because she went to the hospital a few times and she was sent back home. And the last time she actually had pneumonia, along with the heart failure. Let's talk about Jill Scott. Jill Scott, who was one of the neo-soul queens of the Philly sound. And she got her break being in movies, television shows. And she's a phenomenal actress, as well as a multi-talented, gifted singer and musician. Very, very talented. But recently she's done, and she represented the plus figure woman, gave a lot of plus figure women, her along with Monique, gave a lot of them self-esteem into being proud of the skin that they wear, regardless of how large her frame was. And she was another one who got involved with the drug scene, the drug subculture, coming in the form of weight loss pills. But all these models and all these people that are trying to lose weight, a lot of them get involved, with cocaine and crack and things of that nature, which takes away your appetite and at the same time giving you a euphoric high. Now, it is said that in recent shows, Jill Scott, while she was on stage performing, she began to give the microphone oral sex. And that's a result of loneliness, low self-esteem, and acceptance. Kris Kross, the group Kris Kross, phenomenal group, chart blockbuster hits in the late 80s, early 90s. Two little boys that had rhythm and had rapping skills from Atlanta, Georgia, who created their own style. They wore their clothes backwards. And that's when the baggy jeans were out, which I love that era of the baggy jeans. And however, here they are with Michael Jackson. Now, this one here, Chris Kelly, was really the outspoken one, who was the whistleblower on Jermaine Dupri, that he was sexually violating the both of these boys as being their producer and being under his record label. They were green to the game, and they were being taken advantage of sexually. Chris Kelly being the whistleblower, in which Jermaine Dupri had to pay $12 million to these boys to avoid jail time. You know, and he is believe me, he is a seasoned pedophile. Seasoned. And so what happened, he wrestled with his sexual identity, his sexuality, which led to him numbing his thought process with opiates. And so what better way is there to take another person out and use their weakness as the cause of death? And so what happened to Chris Kelly, he was found in his home. There were several people in his house prior, and they left him in there. This is what the report said. He was left in there, and, you know, he died. He went in cardiac arrest and passed. They labeled the cause of death an overdose of heroin. But he was murdered. It was just a crime scene was set up around him to make it appear that he was it was an accidental overdose, but it wasn't. You know. And that's a result of Jermaine Dupri's being mad at the fact that he was exposed by Chris Kelly. Through investigation, thorough investigation, we concluded that that's what happened. That was his way of getting back with Chris Kelly for telling the truth that Jermaine Dupri is a pedophile. He's a seasoned pedophile that should be arrested, should be doing time. Because they looked up to him as a big brother / father figure. You know, his marriage to Janet Jackson was just, a fluke. Janet being on the money tip, haven't had hits in some years. You know, she got with this little motherfucker, and ate pretty well. Give me a second. This is the other brother at the funeral of Chris Kelly. As you can see, him and his moms were together. He was very, very distraught, extremely distraught, because he knew what happened to his buddy, and both of them were sodomized and abused. And I believe that he never came out of it. And today it is said that he, is apparently in the closet living an alternative lifestyle. I hate using that term, but, I don't want to just say he was just a straight fucking faggot, because it was of no fault of his. But may Chris Kelly rest in power. Frankie Lyman, who was just like Michael Jackson, teenage idol, heartthrob, multi-talented. They both had the same middle names. Michael Joseph Jackson, Frank Joseph Lyman. And with Frankie Lyman, the murder came about when his addiction to heroin led him to sell his own masters to Morris Levy, back to his manager, for $1,500. He began to steal and shoplift to support his habit. He had no money or anything. And this was just in a matter of a couple of years that he tried heroin and became addicted and strung out. He He was arrested for shoplifting, and he was given an ultimatum by the judge to either go to jail, rehab, or the military. And he chose the latter. And he went into the army, and that's where he met his last wife at. And he did his training in Fort Benning, Georgia, and that's where he met his last wife at. And Morris Levy, who, well, let me go back a little bit to the teenagers, Herman Santiago and the boys, who were extremely jealous of Frank. You know, they couldn't stand Frank because Frankie Lymon was heavily melanated, and which was not the thing at the time, to be heavily melanated and have a nice thin grade of hair, opposed to, you know, the rest of the guys in the group, the teenagers, who were mulatto and Latino. And so they were extremely jealous of Frank. And so that led to Frankie going on his own, you know, which was the beginning of the end. However, he couldn't stay there and take the shit and the hatred from haters that were in the group. You know, and he could outdance anyone in the group. Although they all tried to outdance Frank, but Frankie could go. He was like Michael Jackson. You know, and the 3 wives that he had, you know, as a result of his addiction. That's where his addiction led him to doing such, you know, wild acts such as these. The one in the middle, that's she sang with the group, the Platters. Very, very, she was, well, the Platters only had one woman, and that was her. Please forgive me, I forgot her name. I hope I remember it in a minute. But she was the only woman lead singer in the Platters group, and you know, she was married to Frank. You know, Frankie Lymon was a, you know, small piece of leather, well put together. You know, he was multi-talented, gifted. And it is also said that when he became really strung out on dope, you know, that he used to visit Little Richard, you know, and Little Richard would give him money. But he didn't just give him that money for nothing. Because it said that, you know, Frankie, you know, put dick in Little Richard's butt, you know, for a few dollars. You know, he started degrading himself. You know, so when he left his wife's house in Atlanta and came up to New York because Morris Levy had a weekend worth of performances set up for him. He went to his grandmother's house and supposedly in her bathroom he OD'd. But what I found out what happened when he got to New York, the first show he performed, they claimed was a flop. And that they got tired, these crackers got tired of losing money investing in Frankie's comeback. So the same way they did Mike Tyson, you know, when they killed his daughter Exodus. But with Frankie Lymon, he was murdered in his grandmother's bathroom. So it wasn't hard to convince the people that Frankie Lymon died of an overdose because he was a heroin addict. But in all actuality, he was murdered. This is the motherfucking so-called imposter, Jew gangster, linguine motherfucker, Morris Levy, who took cold-blooded advantage of Frank up until his passing, in which Levy had played a major role in Frankie Lyman's ascension. And so when he passed, Michael Jackson took on the energy of Frankie Lyman. It was passed on to Michael Jackson because the same year Frankie Lyman passed, several months later, the Jackson 5 was on the Ed Sullivan Show, and Michael Jackson made his debut. They had the same similar songs, the ABCs of Love and Rockin' Robbie and Goody Good. You know, they had the same pretty much exact type of songs. And so, you know, very, 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 very powerful situation, brothers and sisters. I'm going to continue with another part of this video. I'm going to do another part of this video. So, brothers and sisters, just stay tuned. Yeah, so brothers and sisters, I will be returning with another video for you all. So, in the meantime, brothers and sisters, as always, Hotep, Black Power.